Hi guys, I'm Rita and welcome to my shop. Ta-da! In today's episode, I will be a business owner who prints on demand. And I have chosen an accounting software, FreshBooks, to record my business transactions. So let's start with registering on FreshBooks and going through briefly settings. Okay, to sign up on FreshBooks, we need to search to find this accounting software. So let's go on freshbook.com. I will select my region as United Kingdom and click login. Then below there is sign up. And now let's fill in email, address, password, tick box of confirming terms and conditions and privacy policy, and then click on that green button called Get Started. Okay, so we need to verify our email address. Let's go to our email and verify my email. Okay, we need to get set up, so we need to add our profile information and then tell about our business. So let's fill in details. Okay, where I'm located in United Kingdom. Phone number. Okay, it's like, I think so. Let's check, can we? Oh, it's mandatory. Okay. Okay, click next. My company name. So enter your company name. Industry, what business do. So I would be under fashion beauty. I cannot see printing. I will call I'm creative professional. Okay, and how I would describe my business. It's a new business and it's my full-time focus currently. Okay, and how I work just myself at the moment. Okay, my estimated revenue up to 20,000. But if you plan that your estimated revenue will be falling in one of those brackets, select the one which is appropriate to you. Also about your currency, you can select different currencies. It's quite a long list to select from. So, okay, let's go back to pounds. How long does it take to complete your service? Whoa, okay. To complete my service, real time or within a few hours. Complete your service. I'm delivering items, so I would say less than a week from starting process to end. But if you provide an online course, that will be possible real time or within a few hours. And more long-term projects will be one of next two options to select. So select the one which is more appropriate to you. What do you currently use to bill your customers? I would say that I use pen and paper. Oh, okay, I don't use anything right now because I'm starting a business, but if you previously used your notepad, like pen and paper, select that one. If you use some sort of spreadsheets or Word documents, there is option as well. Or if you used another accounting software and you decided to move to FreshBooks, then select that you have used another accounting software. So I will say that I haven't used anything right now. And okay, mine would be more or less the same. So how my service is provided. So if you have an online course, more or less the same will be price. But if you have, for example, doing a paintings or more customized orders, you can select second option called different or customized. I will say more or less the same, and save and finish. Okay, we are on our FreshBooks systems. This is a dashboard, and on left hand side there is our sidebar with multiple options to choose from. But before I jump to add a clients, suppliers and record transactions like issuing invoices, I always scan through settings. So there is a bell icon on next to my business icon. Bell icon would always give a notifications, or as FreshBooks provides, there is updates about my clients, team and business, and it will show up here. So if you have a couple of team members and if someone do something, record or issue invoice, you'll be able to see all those updates under this bell icon. And below is my favorite called settings, and I can add or switch another business if I want. And let's have a look on settings. This is section about me, my company, logo and email notifications. So here is my account. I can select a time zone. For me, time zone would be somewhere closer to zone 0, London. Do I have London? Okay, I'll select that one. And inspirational quotes, that will show up, fine. Next, move on to company. Ooh, I forgot to save changes. Okay, my company. Under my company is my company details, including address, my currency, time zone, kind of change it. My fiscal year, so that means you can amend either it's tax year or you can add your financial year, so that's when it starts and finishes. And date format, so my date format is as date, month and year, but you can select one of other two options, starting with month or starting with year, one which is more appropriate to you. And then you can add tax name and tax number, and if you have a standard rate. For example, in my case, I will add that my standard rate is £20 per hour in this business. Okay, save changes. Next section is logo and themes. So we can select different colors and add logo if we want to our business. So for example, if I want more gray colors, so all titles or headers of invoice will show up in that color which is selected. So for example, if I select purple, it will show purple. Then when I scroll on these arrows, I can select different templates. So in this case, there is 3 templates provided that we can select, and I kind of like third one. And color, I will go to gray. Okay, and then can select, of course, classic font or modern. I will go for modern, I like this one. So click save changes, yes, save, okay. And email notifications, this is where we can decide which notifications I want to receive from FreshBooks accounting software when action have been taken. So if you are happy with all these reminders or notifications coming through, just leave them as they are. Okay, so let's go back to settings. What else we have? So there is billing and upgrade, so we can add or enable bank and add billing information there. Online payment settings, the same. Bank connections. Okay, let's check billing and upgrades. Oh, that means charges, costs, plans. Okay, that means subscriptions. I thought that this was something to do with a bank, but banking is here, bank connections and online payment settings. So online payment settings is when I can enable to money be collected via Stripe or any other means of how clients can pay to me. For example, PayPal, I can connect here, and of course enabling Stripe, there are provided already fees, what and how much it will cost by using these online payments. So if you are happy to enable Stripe or connect to PayPal, go to online payment settings and you'll be able to switch on. Bank connections, this is where you can add your bank or enable bank feeds. Yeah, there is a big button called connect my bank to my bank. Okay, so this is a place where you can come and do, and plus you can do bank reconciliations. But there is a note that bank reconciliations are only available if you go for plus or premium plans. So it's not available on very first paid package, which is I think so-called light. So next is emails and templates. So we can modify and specify different information on emails and how we want them to look like when we're distributing, for example, invoice out, or even if you're sending remittance advice, and etc. Apps and integrations, sorry I missed that one. Apps and integrations, there is more applications available. What is accounting software, FreshBooks are compatible. Even like FreshBook Making Tax Digital, so to file VAT returns direct to HMRC, this is a place where you need to go and install or enable to do Making Tax Digital uploads as a part of Making Tax Digital uploads to HMRC for your VAT. Okay. Next is items and services. So if you have multiple items, what you want to invoice separates. This is where we can create, for example, for services can be separate, like if there is online courses, we can add information here, and if you have multiple packages, so for each package you can add a rate, and also include a tax if you are a tax registered business. For items, if you're sending items, for in my case, I will be sending out t-shirts, and I will be sending out Canva bags. Then I can create items here and default a price. Of course, this price can be overwritten afterwards and changed, but this would help to select already items available and pre-fill details on invoice once it's created. So that's under settings. Then there is payroll settings as well. So we will cover this one a little bit later. Then there is help, refer friend, and of course we can log out. So this part covers how we can register on FreshBooks and what settings we have on, or where we can find settings at what we can update and amend through settings section before we start issuing invoices and record transactions on FreshBooks. So for Hindu, not really black, yellow, might be too bright, blue, not, ooh, blush pink, yeah. So I have clients already ordering online custom-made t-shirts. For example, Lucy have ordered 5 custom-made t-shirts for her Hindu. So how I can add a new customer and issue invoice on FreshBooks accounting software? So how I can add a Lucy as a customer on FreshBooks accounting software, and as well as issuing invoice to her for her items. She ordered 5 t-shirts custom made for her Hindu. So from dashboard, when we're looking, FreshBook already provide you a quick quick step-by-step guide, and there is first point saying add your client. Also we can add our client from sidebar on left hand side, and there is a client there. So to add new client, you cannot miss that green big button on right hand side at the top and add new client. And then this is a client card, so it's structured in 2 parts: main on left hand side, and then there is more settings what we can enable and select. And it also already says what you need to enter where. So when you think where I need to add name and surname and etc., click there is first name, and it already allows you to add. So I will have a Lucy green. If there is a company, you can add company details. email address. I will add, can I add my own? I'll check if it's all not allowed. We'll add another email. We can add a phone number, street, okay, and if Lucy is VAT registered, we can add VAT numbers there. Okay, so on right hand side under client settings, we can send reminders. So when we click, we can enable send reminders to this customer if required. If we don't want to send reminders, we can leave it as no. Next one is charge late fees. If there is some customers who you apply late fees for not paying on time, we can enable it and add how much, what is percentage, or maybe there is flat fee, what we want to add, and after what time this late fee starts. If we don't want to add, just click cancel and come back, so it's not like updating to this particular customer or not applying late fees. Next one is about currency. So you can select language, and then you can also apply different currency. There is huge list of different currencies, and if your country's currency is not on, I would be quite surprised. So you can select different currencies to your customers and issue invoices in those currencies as well, which is very good. So okay, I'll click done. And then we can do invoice attachments. So when we send an invoice to our customer with, let's say, enabled Stripe link, so it will show as an invoice, as an email, but we can ask system to attach PDF copies of this email to sending as well. Okay, and once we're happy, click done. So if all details are filled in and settings are up to date, click save. Okay, yeah, it doesn't allow. Click save. Okay, so we have added Lucy, and when we click clients and scroll a little bit down, there is Lucy as a recently active, and also it's here. One good point on FreshBooks is that they always give a tips what means that one, so it's kind of help you to get more familiar with a FreshBooks accounting software. Let's go back to dashboards, and before we issue invoice, next step after we adding clients, we can add items. So if as I mentioned from settings, I can create a list of my items what I sell, and the same as the services. So I will add an items called t-shirts, and I can specify by color, I can specify by size, and etc. So that would help and make life easier when I will issue an invoices. So when we go and drop down box on right hand side under create new, we can create new item or create new service. So if I'm on item here, create new, it will automatically give like an item to add. So name, I will add oops, don't know how to type blush. I can add a description if I want more detailed details. There is space to add it. Rate 15, and I can add tax if taxes apply. In my case, I'm not tax registered business, VAT registered business, so I will not apply tax. And I can track inventory. For example, currently I have in stock let's say 10 blush t-shirts, so when I will issue 5, I will be able to see that I have 5 only left in stock. So click save. Okay, and let's add, there is my t-shirts, and I can add another item, and I will call it something wrong with my typing, and I can say customize. Do I spell it wrong? Customized. Print, and I can say if I have customized print, it's 20 truck inventory, and I will say that I have only 5 in stock. Click save. Let's change different color. Blue. Save. So the same description items cannot be added, so I change it to blue. Okay, so now when we're going back to dashboard, my clients are ticked, items and services are ticked, and now I can send an invoice. Either you can click from dashboard when you're getting familiar, or we can go on our left hand side and click on invoices, and this is where we can issue an invoice. So from me and to me, so there are 2 ways. So from me invoice, create invoice, click new invoice, and it already gives you like a layout or template of an invoice, and we just need to add in information by clicking on plus, where is a plus, add client or add line, specified areas. So let's select client, and because I added Lucy already, then I can select from my drop down list. But if you have completely new client, you can just click client and start typing in, and it will create and add new clients there. So let's select Lucy. Then next one is add a line, and I can select my t-shirts. I can add still description, I can say customized for Hindu, and I can still change rate if I want afterwards. Then it allows, system allows to do it. I can add a line for shipping, costs, and of course quantity I have 5 and shipping is 1. Then date of issue, invoice issue date, I would say it was last Friday, and due date I can say that it needs to be paid in 7 days, or on a specific date, or on a date of issue. When it's on a date of issue, that means that there is no zero, there is a need to pay it immediately. Yeah? I will say that I'm giving 7 days to pay for this invoice. So system automatically updates due date, and I can add more notes here. For example, I can say notes, and if there is any terms what you want to specify. So now on our right hand side, we can, for this invoice, we can add a link, so we accept an online payments, so we can specify details here if we want, or enable option. I will say I don't want it because I already specified that I want them to pay via bank transfer. Then I can customize invoice style if I want here, and I can make this invoice also recurring. So if you have some invoices what you want to make recurring, click there and make them to happen as a recurring. Okay. Next one, for Lucy Green, I can send the reminders if required. Charge late fees, currency still can change here, and I can add invoice attachments. So once I'm happy, I can click send to, and it's already default information where it will be saved and how it will be sent. Also, I asked system to ask me if I want to attach a PDF copy. This is where I can click and select that I can attach copy to this one. Also, I can click on preview, and this is how the invoice will look like. If I want still change something, deselect preview, and it will come to like a template format, so you can still amend information. When you enable it, this is how it will look like. And send invoice. Okay, invoice has been sent, pop up also on the top showing there. When you click on view invoice, we are able to view invoice here. Also, we can do more actions. When you click on the drop down box, we can add a payment. For example, if Lucy paid us already, we can send by email again. We can share via link. If we have enabled other option, for example using WhatsApp maybe, then we can share via link. We can duplicate this invoice, print, download, assign to a project. We will cover projects a little bit later. Also archive and also delete this invoice. So okay, so let's go back to invoices, and when you scroll a little bit down, you can see invoice is here. We can still edit it, we can duplicate, we can add payment from here, and when you click on the 3 dots, there is more actions available to select from. Okay, so, and when we hover over here, it gives information that this invoice has been sent. And as I mentioned from settings, if someone does something on system, there will be notification on bell icon. So when we click on bell icon, it's showing that there is who sent invoice, for what amount, and when it's due. So when we click on that information, it shows details about this particular invoice, and we can also add a comment if needed. Okay, so this is a way how we can add a client, also add items, and issue invoices to our customers. What a successful meeting I just had with a supplier, agreeing on new prices or rates for my t-shirts. And also in the meantime, I collected a couple of receipts. So how I can record supplier, record a supplier invoice, and record an expense on FreshBooks accounting software. Also, is there an easier way to actually record paper receipts? And if so, what I should do? So I came from supplier meeting, as I mentioned, and now how I can record new supplier, their invoice, as well as expenses going to and from a meeting. And we can do it from our sidebar. On left hand side there is a section called expenses. So when I click on expenses, there is 3 subcategories called bills, vendors, and uploads. Sorry, spelled wrongly. So before we issue bill, we can issue bill automatically. Bill is the same as supplier invoice. We can record supplier exactly on that invoice, but we will go through the process of adding a vendor or supplier first. So how to add a vendor? Click on vendor and click on right hand side, there is new vendor button. It's green, it's big, it's huge, you cannot miss it. Click new vendor, and client's card, like clients I mean a supplier's card, looks exactly in similar way as our customer or client's card, so it's quite simple. Company, I will have not run this card, it's print limited. Account number, we can add email address, website, phone number, street, and code, and etc. So we can add more details if you have those. Currency, in my case I will select pounds, and done. And then I can add a sales tax. If I'm VAT registered business and I need to add sales tax separately, I can do it. Okay, so I have added new vendor, quick and simple. So now I want to add an invoice. So how I can add invoice? Click on bills on sidebar on left hand side, Then on right hand side there is new bill. When you have a drop down box, you can manually create or upload bill. Let's do it manually first. So manually create. Okay, this is a template of invoice. It looks very nice and neat. I really like how it looks like. Add vendor, so I have print limited, but once we type in, for example, I will have t-shirt company, and when I type in and then click create t-shirt company, it will already record new supplier. So I will just leave my print limited. Issue date, let's select last Friday. Due date, we can change. For example, if due date is 60 days, so we can change it here, or if it's 30 days, just change to 15th of May. Okay, bill number, that is supplier number, so I will have print 1234 invoice number. I can either drag document here, or I can select a file, so it can be attached here. Then I can select the currency, so if I have different currency I can select it, but I defaulted that my supplier print are in pounds, or is in pounds. Okay, add line, so I will have okay, so once I am happy with this details, I can save by clicking on top, click save. Okay, this is how I can record supplier invoice. Also, when I go to my all bills, I can edit, I can delete, I can add a payment if I have paid for it, or I can do more actions like duplicate, I can change category, I can change our vendor, which is change a supplier, or archive. Okay, so we have added supplier invoice, but how I can actually record expense? So if I have multiple receipts, or I have received a digital receipt, how I can do it? On left hand side, on sidebars, there is a section called uploads. Click on uploads, and we can upload a document. This will allow system to store a digital record of my receipt, and plus it will also pre-populate information from that receipt, and will give me an option to decide if the information what they have selected from receipt is matching with what I want to enter on system. So let's do it. So I will upload documents, and in my case I will select this receipt. Okay, so one document has been successfully uploaded. Okay, so where is my uploaded document? Okay, this here. So on my left hand side is actual copy of receipt, and on right hand side is details what system have pre-populated based on that receipt upload. I can select what kind of document this will be. Either it's expense, in my case this receipt is expense, but you can also upload the PDF files, and for bills, for example, if you receive electricity bill, you can upload and it will pre-populate. Also, if I click on bill, it asks me to add a little bit more details. For example, bill details of vendor, invoice number, date, currency, and then bill item 1, and add multiple items. Example, if I have purchased 3 or 4 different items, it's kind of already pre-populates information there. So in my case, it's already expense. and it says that it's merchant, and I will agree that's correct, merchant. Category, that is category what I need to select. In my case it's meals, so let's check meals and entertainment. Okay, date, it is 25th of January, quite old receipt, but I will change it to April so I can look at information as in this month. Let's say 17th. Currency, it is pounds. Reads information correctly. Also 259, have collected correct amount. And I can add a description. In this description I can say what this receipt relates to. I will say supplier meeting. Okay, and once I'm happy with this information, click create. Okay, so this expense from uploads will go to main expenses. Yeah, so the more invoices you have or receipts, take a picture and attach to FreshBooks accounting software. Also, if you receive a digital receipt, there is a tip under your uploads. This is my email address, what I can use to send receipts. So I will copy an email and I will send a receipt to myself. So let's send email. And let's attach receipt. And let's attach receipt of this one. Open and send. So if you have receive receipt in digital format to your email, you can forward it to your email, which is this one. My case is this. For you will be generated on your system, your email. You can copy it and send it directly to yourself. Save that email in favorites in your mailbox, and you can forward it to here, and it should upload that receipt what I emailed directly to this area. So let's refresh. Okay, go to uploads. Might take a little bit time. Okay, it's scanning one document. Show details. So receipt being done, but there is another file coming in. And here is a receipt. Okay, so when I click on it, this was receipt what I sent to myself from email, so system picks it up. Also I would say it's expense, it's read where it comes, so I can add more details if I want. Okay. Category, I will say it's meals and entertainment. Date, it is 28th of January, but I will choose to April so I can look in more details later point. And amount 1635, it's already read. And description, I can say meal at okay, and once you are happy with information, click create. So now all expenses have been recorded here, and when you look, details are below there and also attached. So it's easy and simple way to send yourself PDF files of invoices or with actual receipts and record on FreshBooks accounting software. Makes life so easy. Compared to any other custom-made orders, I just received a huge order, 150 t-shirts and 150 Canva bags. And it is for a running event, and it's pretty urgent. But today is not my lucky day because my heat press has actually broken. So I will need to go back to old-fashioned ways of custom making t-shirts by using iron. And it will take ages. So how I can actually track my time on a particular project on FreshBooks accounting software, as well as keep a track of expenses and issue at the end invoice. So let's have a look on next category or section on FreshBooks accounting software called projects. So I'm so excited to record this actual order or deal what went through projects. So how I can do it? On sidebar on left hand side you have section called projects. Okay, and now let's create a new project. And I can decide if it will be flat rate project or hourly project. In my case, it will be an hourly project. And now I can invite a team if I want, or at this moment I'm working on my own in old-fashioned ways with that iron. So I can add a project name. And I can add a description if needed. Assign a client. I can type completely new client, and in my case it will be run. Okay, that will be John, and company will be Run Limited. Okay, so we'll leave that one. So end date, it needs to be completed by end of April because race starts on beginning of May. So, and total hours what need to be spent on this one is, say, about 24 hours. I can add a service. For example, I will say design. And printing. Okay. Okay. Then on right hand side I can add a project type. So it was hourly project, but I can still change it to flat rate project at a later point. Then I'll click done. Then I can put an estimate. So I can add hours per service or total hours what will be required. So I can put an estimate here if needed. I can add a billable rate. So for example, I will say that hourly rate is $20 per hour, but I can still change here if I want, because my hourly rate was set on system as 20, but okay, I'll leave in this case is 20, but I can select team members rate or service rates if needed. For example, for design, I have a rate of, let's say, 100 per hour, and printing my rate is 50. Done. And t-shirt production. Okay, and another one I will have Canva bags. Okay. Ooh. Have I spelled it wrong? Canvas. Okay, canvas. Okay, great. Then set billable rates. I can set canvas bags production date as well. Done. Okay. Then I can add a cost rate. If I want to add, for example, each team member who works, how much it will cost, I will add that the cost rate here is 20. Okay, apply cost rate, done. And then I can set expense markup, so I can add a markup of, let's say 60% is my markup above those rates. Okay, so once I'm happy with this project, I click save. So new client is added, and also new project is created. So when I'm scrolling a little bit down under project section, there is a couple of headers: time tracking, invoices, quotes, expenses, services, and reports. So time tracking, this is where I can track my time. For example, I can start time now and go to do lamination of t-shirts or canvas bags with my iron and my iron board, on my iron board. So I can put timer on, go do job, and come and stop. Or I can add a timed entry. For example, I've done 8 hours service, let's say, let's start with design. I spend 3 hours on design. I can add more description if needed, and I can select if it's billable or not billable. Log time, and time has been logged here. Let's add another one at time entry. This time service was design. Printing. Printing took 1.5 hours. If I have multiple projects, I can select different ones, but I will have running events. That's only project that I run. I can decide if this is billable or not. If billable, tick, otherwise unselect it, and log time. And if it will be billable, it will show up. So let's add the next one. At time entry, let's say I done a samples. Let's say t-shirt production samples, and in this case this is not billable because those are just the samples what I produced for client to look at. Next one is at time entry, and for example I've done 8 hours here. Service was canvas bags production. Log time, and add another time, 8 hours, and log time. Okay, so this way how we can do time tracking. Next one is invoices, what we would issue based on billable hours and any expenses if there will be. So let's jump to expenses first. So what we can add on expenses, for example, all supplies what I have ordered. For example, I ordered 150 canvas bags and 150 t-shirts, so I can add expense. If I have receipt, I can upload it and then I can allocate to project. If I want manually to add, I can create here. So for example, category I will call this case t-shirts. I will add under supplies. Supplies, save. Okay. This is only a place where we can actually add something on our chart of accounts. As business owner, you will be not able to add unless you invite your accountant. So if you want to do separate groups, like I want to do t-shirts and canvas bags as a separate cost of sales goods, type in and add it in, like I created here, and it says that I can still add it edit under supplies, and then on right hand side under cost of goods sold, select mark expenses under cost of goods sold, click done. So if you will not mark your t-shirts what you have ordered, or like I ordered in this case, sorry, my t-shirts will not show up as a cost of goods sold, which is like purely relating to running my business, they will go under other expenses, which is like more a day-to-day admin expenses and etc. Yeah, so this is the only way how I can add a different product category without accountant adding or amending chart of accounts. Yeah, so my date, I will select 17. My merchant will be Bag Limited. Bag Limited, you need to create. Okay, and description 150 t-shirts. Okay, I can add tax if needed, and grand total would be let's use my calculator. So 150 times, let's purchase for 8,200. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. So now on the right hand side we can go through expense settings. So assign client to project, so this expense need to go under running event. Mark as billable, so I can invoice client, and I can include receipt of image on invoice. So if there is if I recharge exactly the same charges, for example like couriers, if you don't want to increase courier costs, then you can include a receipt so customer knows that that's what's been recharged to them. And I can add a markup, so I can change it. I said on the project that markup will be 60%, but in this case I would say that markup here would be 40%, so you can still amend here. Yeah, so click done and save. So I added 150 t-shirts. Now I want to add another bill, and this time I will do canvas bags, and under supplies, save. First thing what I go, so I don't forget, these are costs of goods sold to me. Make sure that there is a yes. Date, we'll select yesterday. Merchant, I will have Bank Limited, and I have 150 times canvas bags. Okay, and this time I will have, let's say, 4 per bag, so I will have 600 here. Project, it is running event. Okay, and markup I will leave at 40, it's the same. Click done. Do I make recurring? So I can make this one as a recurring expense. We'll say not in this case. I can change a currency if needed, and then cost of goods sold is yes. So let's click save. So now we have 2 expenses recorded directly relating to this project. Also, if I use some materials like printing paper and etc., I can add those, but if you just order them purely for this particular project. For example, I had expenses, I had a bill. Let's quickly go to expenses. Under bills, I ordered already printing papers and all stuff, but they are not only relating to my project stuff. So when I click on print limited, I can do any other options, but I cannot kind of allocate to particular project at the moment. So to split just one of 2 lines and decide that 2 tubes would go, there will be need to like an adjustment possible made, like a journal entry. But overall, this what I purchased from supplier Print Limited is not only relating to this particular project, but I know that under this project, under running event, I have these expenses like ordering bags and ordering t-shirts are purely relating to this particular project, so I can add here. Okay, so Now we have expense and we have time that we can actually bill our customers. So when we click on invoices, we can add an invoice. Click on this green button. Date range, we can select this month or last month if we want. I will select this month. Okay, and I will say okay, USD dollar. Okay, I need to go and check. Supplier, what I added. Clients. What was it defaulting? Yeah, it defaulted to dollars. Okay, so I need to edit this client and change rate or currency to pounds. Done and save. So when you're adding your client, it's my default to different currency. Like in my case, Run Limited was defaulted to dollars, so I couldn't actually invoice in pounds to this customer because customer's currency was dollars. So just if that happens, just go back to one or another one and make sure that all expenses and time and actual customer currency is the same, so there is no difference in currency, otherwise you will be not able to invoice. So add invoice, okay, running event and only unbilled expenses, and I want to show either detailed, so time entry format, grouped or simple. Yeah, so if I select as a detailed, it will show for every single task what I've done. It will show separate lines, also show who done that particular task, and if I done 3 hours of design, this will automatically pick up those hours and will multiply by that rate. For bag limited and for Canva bags, I had 40% markup on, so from 600 it went to 840, and the same for t-shirts. Yeah, so if I'm happy with this bill, I can invoice. If I want, I can add more details, for example like shipping costs. Let's say there's shipping, and in this case I have shipping of 25 pounds that need to be charged more. Yeah, so if I want, I can add discount if I'm providing. So when you click on discount, you can add a percentage here and add other notes how this invoice need to be paid. On right hand side you have settings. If you want, you can add enable online payments. You can still customize invoice style and make recurring. This is one-off event, so not really applying. And then I can send also reminders, charge late fees if they are late on paying. You can select fees as a flat fee, or you can add as a percentage from invoice value as a calculator. For example, 1% from invoice value added after certain time when they haven't paid this invoice. And then currency and invoice attachments if required. Okay, so once we are happy with this one, we can save and we can send. So if I will click send to, I need to add a contact details, so I can type email address here. So for example, okay, and I can click on preview, so this is how it will look like, and then send invoice. Okay, so invoice has been sent. So when we going back to our project, there is time tracking. It's changed to billed from unbilled. When we go to expenses, expenses have been changed from unbilled to billed now. And here is our invoice. So we can edit, we can duplicate, we can add a payment. For example, if we received a partial payment, so when we click on this payment, for example, deposit, and select, let's say, bank transfer, there are multiple options you can select how this person have paid to you. Say bank transfer, and I will say that person paid deposit of 2,000 towards this invoice. And I can also notify, selecting send client a payment notification email, and this person will receive a notification that invoice being partially marked, and click save. And now information under invoice have changed to partial payment. So you can also issue quotes, proposals, and then you can convert those to invoice. You can add any other services if required, and add time if need to be invoiced based on the time. And also look at reports. So when we're looking at reports, there is expense report, time entry details, profitability summary, and profitability details. So when I click on profitability summary, on right hand side, of course, there's filters what can be changed, but then we can look at how our project looked like. So total build was 4.1, total cost was 2.2, so profit was almost 2k, and profit margin is 46-47. Yeah, so it's quite good project. More actions, I can export to Excel, or I can print, or also I can send it to someone in team to look at this particular project. Okay, so this section covers projects, but it also will cover time tracking, because multiple team members can enter their time if there's multiple projects, and by clicking every single day you'll be able to see on what your team is working and how much time has been spent on particular project. And when we're going on time tracking, just do new entry and start time, and it clock start ticking. So yeah, that's a way how we can record projects, add particular expenses to this project, as well as issue invoices. So I have recently been noticed by multiple corporate companies asking to provide or create a custom-made uniforms for their staff. And I'm in dilemma actually. Do I need to recruit a staff member, or I should better choose a contractor? But if I recruit a staff member, can I do payroll on accounting software FreshBooks? Let's have a look. So if I want increase my team and I want to add a partner in crime, so how I can do it, and also can I actually do a payroll on FreshBooks accounting software? So on left hand side on sidebar there is icon called My Teams, and on My Teams I'm able to invite team members who would be able to work on my projects. For example, I had a project of 150 t-shirts and 150 Canva bags. I can also view roles before I invite what they would be able to access. For example, if I just invite an employee, that person will be not able to access majority of sections from my FreshBooks accounting software. They will be able to access expenses and record those, time tracking and projects. So, but they will be not able to see reports or look at clients or invoices, nor even doing setting changes. Yeah. So that would be the point. What is like important if you just want someone like a contractor maybe as well to work from outside. So if I want an employee, can I actually do a payroll? And under My Teams there is payroll, which is called new. So FreshBooks actually provides an option to do a payroll, but they don't allow you to create a payroll report on FreshBooks accounting software. So Only way how we can do it is import payroll information through KPay. So we can use KPay to create our payroll reports, submit to HMRC directly, so it is on real-time information basis, and then when we run a payroll at the end, it allows you to import information from KPay to FreshBooks accounting software and post journal automatically on FreshBooks. And once you post it or allowed to link it to FreshBooks, it will show all these details below. So last payroll run when it's done, what is the total, when next payroll is coming up or when it will be, and when next payroll run should take place. Also, you will be able to see last payroll runs information, like what was the period, date when it was paid, amount, and what actions been taken about that one. So KPay is separate software and it's based on as per employee subscription rate. Let's go to settings and click on payroll settings. Okay, I want to just get to learn more. Will it direct to KPay? Okay, so why there is no links? Okay, let's search by it. Okay, so this is KPay, and when we look at pricing, they are on as per employee subscription rate per month based payroll software. So for example, standard is £2 per month per employee, per active employee. So there is more details what you can look at and what is actually included on each reporting. Most important is RTI reporting, and it's included in every single package. Yeah? So this is a way how payroll can be linked to FreshBooks and actually entered. So you would need to use third-party software to get payroll done, and then it would post a journal from KPay into FreshBooks accounting software. So I have already sold majority of stock on local market and I have received the cash for it. So how I can actually mark my invoices as paid, or even if I have sold new outfit, how I can actually record the transaction on FreshBooks accounting software. So how we can mark an invoices as paid on FreshBooks accounting software. There is an option to do payments when you click on payment. And for example, it already shows what invoice has been already paid. So I can see that there is from bank transfer 2,000 coming in, but this actually doesn't show full invoice because full invoice was more than £4,000. So when we go to invoices and scroll till bottom, we can see that there is invoice for Lucy has been sent, and also there is another invoice for Run Limited, which is partially paid. To mark this invoice paid, click on that $sign, add payment, and we can add notes here. For example, paid by bags. I can decide or select the payment type, bank transfer, and it already gives only amount what has been left to be paid. So if 2,000 been paid, so another 2,147 is now available for allocating. So let's click save, and now it's turned to paid. And the same about Lucy, we can click on Lucy on invoice, more action, we can add payment also from actual invoice, add payment, payment method, bank transfer. Also, if person paid in cash, we can select like in cash, decide which payment type. Date, we can select the date. I will keep today's. Payment notes, if you want to add anything, you can add, but it's optional. And click add payment. So when we go back to invoices, those being already allocated. So for example, if I run a shop and money was being paid, they be paid like in a cash. So how I can record those transactions? So when we go to payment section, we can see all these payments being recorded here, but there is another section called other income. And under this section, we can add other means of how I have received money in. For example, as it provides, for example, if I sold online somewhere like in Etsy, or maybe in a local market or a festival, so I can add this as a source. So for example, I will click here, market. Okay, and date, we'll select 17th. Total, let's say 550, and then I can select different currency if I'm traveling in Europe or going to America or Australia and selling my t-shirts or canvas bags in those places. I can select different currency. I can select income category, and now I can say if it was other, rental, online sales, in-person sales, or it's part of advertising and affiliate income. In my case, it's in-person sales. Payment method, something happens with payment method, cash. I can assign to client, I will leave blank, and description, daily sales, and click to add. It records daily sales across whole day. So in this case, I would have cash sales and there be multiple people coming and buying from me, and they kind of didn't ask me for a receipt. Or even if I kept receipts on my notepad, I can just bundle them all up under one price. Next one is, for example, I have online sales. I will online shop. Date, we'll leave today. Total, let's say I have £150. Income category, I will say online sales. Payment method, I will call other. I can assign to client if I have particular client from online shops buying, online shop buying from me. For example, and I can add. Doesn't allow me to add. Okay, we'll leave blank. And add a description would be okay, t-shirts. So this way, how other income can be recorded alongside invoice payments. Also, if there is invoices like bills to clients, those bills can be paid by clicking the same way, covering above, and then adding note, payment, bank transfer if I paid via bank transfer. And for example, if I paid only 500, deposit, just add that information and click save, and it will be partial payment made. Also, if I click on this actual supplier invoice, we can pay it through more action, add payment, 460 is left, payment method, bank transfer, add payment. Okay, so when we go to payments, okay, it doesn't show supplier payments. Okay, then we can add also enable bank feeds. One that can be done through settings. So when we click on bank connections, so we can do connect to my bank, and in that case transactions from your business account would come in. You'll be able to allocate either to expenses or to one of the invoices, either supplier invoice or customer invoice. So this section covers all about payments and how to mark invoices as paid. Also enter any cash sales or other means of income and when you receive money for them. Okay, another parcel is ready to go. So it's been a busy month, and only way how I can check how well I have done is to looking at reports and accounting section. So let's look at those two sections on FreshBooks accounting software. And now let's have a look at a good part of FreshBooks accounting software, and it's reports and accounting. Well, it's good part for me because I'm interested to know how well I actually have done with my projects and how I actually kept under control my expenses. So on sidebar there is reports, and of course system already FreshBooks provides you that you can actually pin to your favorite reports. So there will be definitely a couple of favorite reports. In my case it will be profit and loss statement, balance sheet, and I'll check if something else will be favorite what I want to pin. To pin it to your favorites, you just need to click on that star and it will change the color. So let's have a look. So first section is invoice and expense reports. So there is 4 reports. There is invoice details, expense reports, revenue by client, and item sales. So for example, I will click on revenue by sales. On right hand side there is settings, so I can add filter, for example selecting particular month or period, or you can modify as required. So last year, this year, this quarter, or this month. I will select this month. Also I can select particular client if I want, but I will just apply to all. And also total billed, total collected, or total outstanding. I will say the total billed is what I want to look at and click apply. So now it shows that I had by clients, Lucy was $18.99 and John from Run Limited Company, that's my project one, and that's what has been billed. So revenue by client is quite good, simple report to look at. More actions, I can export and of course print, or I can send to someone who need to know these details. Okay, let's go back to reports. So I would say revenue by client is one of my top favorite ones, what I will want to access at a later point. Click on that star and it's already pre-fills number 1 of favorite reports. Okay, next one, payment reports. I can look at account aging to see which clients are actually haven't paid on time and how time it's actually taking them to pay, how long. Also what payments been collected, accounts payable, that means suppliers that I haven't paid yet and how I actually not paid within the terms. I can actually look on this report, for example, and it's saying that there is no vendor, so I have actually paid them all, so there is no report. But likewise with any of reports, you can go on settings and select a filter as a particular time frames, outstanding, overdue, as well as to do actions like export to Excel, print, or send to someone. Okay, so and then there is credit balance. That is summary of all your credit balance for your clients over a period of time. Okay, let's check. Of course there is nothing. Okay, I'll just leave it as it is. Accounting reports, yes. Okay, so excited about this bit. Profit and loss is what I'm excited to see, what profit or maybe loss I actually have made. But there is also other reports like balance sheet. This shows about my company's assets, liabilities, and equity at a given point. So how many cash I have in account, how much money I'm still liable to pay, and how much equity I actually have or how much I have invested in the business. Also, general ledger to see transactions. That will help for financial statement preparation. Trial balance, since trial balance often combines profit and loss and balance sheet and makes sure that they are balancing, because FreshBooks accounting software uses double entry or traditional accounting method, so both sides should balance. Okay, bank reconciliation summary. If bank feeds are enabled, FreshBooks provides bank reconciliation, so this, when it's enabled, will be able to check and look at the summary if there is any discrepancies maybe and something need to be reconciled. Sales tax summary. If you sales tax is the same as VAT in UK, so there's different sales taxes: GST, HST, IST, I think so, IST. So that is the same sales tax summary, so it will help you to provide information about how much you owe to government sales taxes. VAT download, for making tax digital download. So if you are VAT registered, that will be one of your favorite reports to add to top, because you will want to download your VAT information and then upload as part of that add-on function from settings where I went to help you to submit to HMRC your VAT returns. Cash flow, so to see money coming in and coming out. Yeah, you might be interested in that one as well. So let's have a look at profit and loss, and I will keep that as a favorite. Let's look how it look like. So profit and loss on filters, I will just select this month, build and group by month and click apply. So this is just one month report and it's in pounds. So if you have different currencies, for example, you have customers in dollars and you have customers in euros, you will need to select, there will be option to select in settings different currencies. So you will have, if you have customers in all three currencies, pounds, euros and dollars, you will need to run three profit and loss statements and any other reports for all those three separate currencies. It doesn't link and doesn't convert your currencies to one defaulted currency, so just keep that one in mind. So let's look at numbers. I have invoices, I have other income from my business. So when you scroll over of those blue numbers, or numbers in blue, you're able to click and it will show what actually includes in that particular group of income or expenses. Now I need to go back to reports. Where is my profit and loss statement? Here. So other income was my online sales and my sales in person. Okay, so I have 3,128. What I have in expenses, I have meals and entertainment, okay, and supplies. That's good. And total expense is 981. And I looked, where is my cost of goods sold? Here's my cost of goods sold. And cost of goods sold is two expenses what I added to project, and I said that I marked that t-shirts and canvas bags as part of cost of goods sold, and those were 1,200, 600 pounds, so it is coming back to 1,800. So system picks up that correctly. And my net profit is 2,000. Woo! That's great. I'm so happy. So profit and loss statement looks simple and explains you in details. And if you want to see more in details, you just need to click on that numbers and highlight it in blue, and you'll be able to see what's combined. So for example, 18 pounds something combined from my meal and from my water purchased at WH Smith and at Gatwick Airport meal. So what else we had in our reports? So that was profit and loss. So balance sheet, can scan quickly through. The same, can look at filters and select a particular date. So it's showing that I have cash and receivables. I have nothing to receive from clients, so money came in. then I have payables, nothing outstanding, and income is 2146. So this amount, actually 2146.96, matches exactly with my profit and loss statement. This one, yeah. So your profit or loss will go to your balance sheet under equity as a retained earnings. Okay, so time tracking and project reports. There is time entry details, so if you have team, you will be able to download and use that information. Also, if you have invited contractors to work on your projects, you will be able to download this report and use that report for example, them to get them paid. Yeah, so quite useful to do. Since there is profitability summary, that's new report, the same as profitability details new. That's to check profitability across the projects of client. So we can also go on projects and you can click on particular project and look on that profitability. And retainer summary, that's for retainer clients, that's mean recurring clients. So if you have recurring clients and enabled DD collections, like direct debit collections, then this will appear in the retainer summary. Haven't set up any retainer recurring invoices. So this covers report section. Let's have a look on accounting. So what else is there? So they still advise to connect bank. Okay, accounting reports, balance sheet, general ledger, cash flow, sales tax. So this is like accountants section. Okay, but it's the same reports we have under here, under our reports. And then there is another part which is very important, and it's called chart of accounts. There is deep breath and exhale from me, because to do changes on or customize chart of accounts, you will need to collaborate with your accountant. So you will need to invite accountant which will be able to amend chart of accounts for you. So we can view chart of accounts. Under more actions, we can go to general ledger. That will show all transactions, what's been taking time, payments, invoices issued, and recorded invoices, and etc. And it's also categorized by every sales or expense or payables or receivables, so by every category. And under settings, we of course can select either this month or this year, last year, or also quarter. And limit to, we can look, for example, just a particular group of accounts if there is loads of transactions, so that can be limited. And limit to, it's kind of working as a filter, so it just filters particular transactions under this group. Okay, more actions is export to Excel and print as well. We can send out to, if we want to, accountant or maybe director or any other person who need to know this information. Okay, so let's go back to chart of accounts. On options, we can choose a date range, so we can select this year, or we can select any other options if they provide, like quarter, last quarter, or we can also custom. So these are the chart of account can be used. Any journals, amendments or adjustments, only accountant will be able to do. As I said, in projects, only way how you can kind of trick system for your cost of goods sold is when I added those two expenses and t-shirts and canvas bags, and I defaulted them to cost of goods sold. Otherwise they would appear here under these supplies. Yeah, so 1800, when I click there, it shows my two transactions, what I entered under part of that project. Otherwise you will need to get accountant's access. Either you can invite yourself if you know what you're doing about chart of accounts, and then amend chart of accounts. Otherwise it's just kind of painful process, I would say, that you cannot align chart of accounts in line with your business. So this covers part of reports and accounting. I hope that my FreshBooks accounting software tutorial you will find it useful. I have left a link in the description section below so you can test and trial FreshBooks accounting software for yourself. If you have any questions or require any further advice, feel free to reach out to me. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you next episode.